movie's rated R, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's a very graphic gay sex scene.
Dope.
It was.
That's all I want.
I think it was banned from Russia because of it, or at least that scene was banned.
Putin like, no way. Not gonna happen.
You can't have that here. Richard Madden, dude.
Is Putin just fucking Schmidt in our heads? Like, you don't know what game it is. Tom, do something about this.
Stop it. Oh, God.
It's freaking unbelievable.
Hockey. Hey, we in. Gotcha. You weren't ready for that.
No, I was not.
You were not ready for that.
No.
Got him.
I was doing my my Terminator taps.
I'm going hunting. Hunting. I don't know the words of that song.
Why do you sing? Like, it's already kind of creepy, but you make it way creepy.
Well, yeah, but I don't have the background noise to like get the creepy ambiance, so I have to be extra creepy to let you know how creepy this song is. You know what I mean? So this episode is going to be loaded with b-ball talk, I'm guessing, because
so much happened.
A shit ton happened while I was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I missed everybody. I'm back.
Oh yeah, you left.
Yeah, I was gone.
I noticed.
I was gone for a week. How
was your trip?
It was good. It was very good. Got to see the friends. Got to see the family.
How was your family?
They're wonderful. They're good. They live in an RV.
Your dad's like building a house with.
They're gonna build. They have the property. Yeah,
like a log cabin.
Do you want to hear some of the crazy ideas? So they're gonna build a house, and they're gonna build like an extra house on there for my grandma, which is super nice. My dad owns 2. You know, like when you see like loading docks in movies, and they've got like the big metal things. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
Big metal, like sheds, but they're like humongous.
Okay.
And like you see like loading docks in movies, and like if you see like a New York City dock and there's like hundreds of them.
Okay.
He has 2 of those. He owns 2 of them. He bought them. He wants to put them on the new property and build a barn out of them to put the RV in. Do your thing.
Did he like buy land and
No, because he's using them to store all of our stuff
mm-hmm.
while they're in the process of moving from the old house to building the new house. So he just has all of our stuff from our old house in these 2 giant storage containers. And then they're going to be a barn afterward.
Okay.
Just sitting on the property. It's pretty intense. Yep.
So they're living out of an RV?
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you ever been inside the town of Ocean Breeze? It's actually really nice in there. You know, like down by downtown Jensen?
Yeah.
That got all renovated.
Oh,
it's like really nice back there.
I mean,
yeah.
I probably haven't been there since it's been renovated.
That's true. You know what made me sad while I was down there, though?
What's that?
I drove by Jack and Tony's. Got painted. Like recently been painted. And
really? So it doesn't have that
doesn't have
big
the big
old
pizza.
mural?
It bummed me out.
That is kind of sad.
Because usually, like when I visit home, I like to at least like go by there.
Oh yeah.
And, I'm like, yo, what up, Jack? How you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Then like I drove by with my dad, and I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. Like that's just like a weird, just thing that happened.
This place is like a memory of a town.
Yeah, sure. You're quoting something, obviously. I just don't know what.
Ruscol.
There you go. There you go.
I can smell the psychosphere.
How was your week without me? Did you miss me?
I noticed that you were gone.
Because the dishes weren't done.
Because the dishes weren't done, and like I could walk around in my apartment in my boxers just freely.
You don't do that anyway?
I mean, here's the thing. I'll do it like if it's like midnight and I need a drink of water, right? Then I'll come out here with my cup and like.
What do you know? Just throw some shorts on?
Yeah, but normally, like if I'm gonna if we're gonna exchange words with each other, I want to have pants on.
I appreciate that.
There's just lines that we have to draw.
Yeah. That's fine.
mine.
That's fine.
And that's mine.
That's cool. Yeah, sure. So those were the big differences. Dishes weren't done. You could wear less clothing.
Yep.
Boom. How much of the time I spent away did you spend watching film of Freaky Okiki? Chuma Okiki? Is that right?
Well, okay, so like obviously I didn't watch any film of him.
Oh wait, I
until
guess the draft wasn't until like the
Thursday.
Oh no, it was the day I drove. Like, never mind. It was the day I flew home because I was flying home during the draft.
Exactly.
So you didn't spend like any time.
No.
That's what you've been doing the past few days.
Yeah.
Just nonstop.
Checking in on my boy.
Nonstop Chuma
Okiki.
Okiki film.
Yep.
Got to learn what he can do.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah. That way, if he ends up being really good, you can be like, man, I knew this was going to happen.
There
I
was
had so
only
much faith in him.
One Chuma Okiki video that I had watched previous to the draft that like I remember watching, right? And that was the Bruce Pearl reaction vid. Like, so Chuma Okiki got hurt in
tore his ACL. Elite Eight?
No, it was before. I think it might have been in the second round.
Second round?
Yeah. Might have been in the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, he got hurt in the tournament, and then at halftime, someone interviewed Bruce Pearl about Chuma Okiki, and he knew that like he had tore something, that he was really hurt, and Bruce Pearl like was just struggling through talking. He just
kind of like Joe
breaking
Lacob
down.
talking about Kevin Durant.
Yeah, dude. He just started.
Not Joe Lacob. What's that guy's name?
Bob Myers.
Bob Myers. Joe Lacob's the owner.
He started, and he just started tearing up, and he was like, Chuma, he was the best guy on the floor. I'm smiling, but I'm not.
You're not in the zone.
I'm
You're
not in the zone.
You aren't Bruce Pearl right now.
I'm not. Yeah, but Bruce Pearl was fucking started breaking down crying, and he was like, "I'm gonna go hug him." That's like how he ended the video, and I remember watching that, and being like, "Man, fucking Bruce Pearl like just fucking loves his guys."
Yeah.
Didn't know that was
Future
freaky,
Orlando Magic.
Freaky Okiki, baby.
Do you want to start with the NBA stuff, or do you want to?
So you didn't watch any of the NBA draft, right? Did you? Like,
No, it was fine.
Right. So like you didn't. Did you catch up on any of the things that happened?
Basically, whenever I landed, because I had a connecting flight, so I landed, checked the Bleacher Report, checked the Twitters, got on another plane. My connecting flight was literally landed, got off the plane, went to the bathroom, boarded, took off. It was quick.
Right.
So I didn't really have much time. I was going to get some food, and I was like, I don't have time. So yeah, then I landed, right before I took off from Chicago, I saw a tweet that said Miami Heat trade up to pick 32, and I was like, oh, I wonder who we're going to take. And then I had to turn my phone on airplane mode. And I didn't know until we landed that we took KZ Akpala.
Yeah.
And then later drafted Bol and then traded him.
Yeah. To the Nuggets. Right. So at least in the top 10, nothing weird happened except for maybe Rui Hachimura.
He went like a little earlier than people expected.
Yeah.
He was more like a 12 to 16 guy, and he went 9 or something.
And I think that was like the first kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird. Because a lot of people were slating them to draft Sekou Doumbouya, who ended up going to the Pistons, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, very confusing draft. There was 17 trades throughout the entire night, I'm pretty sure. 17 trades.
How many involving players?
Anybody? Huh?
How many involving players already on rosters? Only like 2 or 3, I think.
So
a lot of it was like, we'll give you 2 second-round picks to move up to this second-round pick. Like shit like that.
True. But it made it for a very confusing NBA draft night because there was just multiple times, at least like
wear the right hat.
At least 5-6 times where I was like, "Oh, this person is going to X location, right?" Like, and I was like, "Wait, no!" And then it showed like proposed trade to the Los Angeles Lakers.
So
like,
let's talk about this for a sec because it's stupid.
Yeah.
For a league who's like so adamant about being progressive and changing things that need to be changed, and adapting to times and like being as modern a league as possible. Why can't they just get this shit right? Like, why is the draft before free agency? 1, move it back. 2, if you know someone's made the trade, why are you making them wear the hat for the team they're never going to play for?
Yeah.
It's confusing and dumb.
Well, it's going to be extra weird. It's going to be extra weird this summer because there's going to be certain guys that are the AD trade can't happen until after Summer League.
July 6th.
Yeah.
That's after Summer League?
Oh, wait, no. It's okay. So
it would be best for the Lakers if it was July 30th. Because it would have weird salary cap implications.
Of people that are going to be playing for the wrong team during Summer League.
Summer League?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really weird.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
That's
That's insane.
Either way, like, yeah,
is that
I
why the
agree
draft
with you
is
completely
so
about-
early? Because of when Summer League starts? When does Summer League start?
Pretty sure it's pretty soon.
They could push that back too, though. It's not like Summer League only takes like 2 weeks to a month or something like that.
I might be wrong. But anyways, anything. A lot of that was probably like the weirdest thing about the draft, just being like, wait, okay, hold on, where is this person going?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because there was so many different trades that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought that you guys actually had Bull at first.
Yeah, because he was wearing.
I thought that we were going that the Magic drafted THT Taylor Horton Tucker. I thought we drafted him with our second round pick, and then it was like, oh no, that's going to the Lakers. Bull is going to go to the Nuggets.
All over the place.
So you've generally caught up with who's gotten what picks, right? So can we talk about sleepers? And
I don't have a ton of, unlike you,
okay,
who have done like a ton of digging into the draft class and learning about who the different players are. I don't really know much about any of them. I know, like, obviously I know who the top guys are. I know who the Heat drafted. I was excited about KZ Okpal in the second round because you told me about it. Because you told me that you wanted the Magic to draft him maybe in the first round.
right.
And I was like, oh, cool. We got a guy who was like a first round value guy in the second round. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Good work, Heat. But like my thing with the NBA draft.
I believe that he's a first round value. A lot of
my
people
thing with
would
the
disagree.
NBA draft is like, it's so hit or miss. It's so much of it is like, you're not going to know what works for another 4 to 5 years. So many dudes are going to be on other teams in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just such a crapshoot in the NBA that, and like really only the top, maybe the top 5 guys are like real immediate impact people, and then like random like the Donovan Mitchells of the world who are unexpected.
Mm-hmm. And even then, like the top 5 guys, like
are all
like you can get a Josh Jackson, you know,
yeah,
you can
exactly.
get, like,
so it's like
certain guys that
I don't put as much stock into getting hyped up about the dudes in the NBA draft as I would in like the NFL, where you have 7 rounds and you can have the realistic expectation that at least the guys you draft rounds 1 through 3, maybe even 4 and 5, are going to have immediate impact on your roster and on how good your team is. In the NBA, like, it's not as palpable early on in their careers. Now, like, obviously RJ Barrett's going to get, if they don't get a max player, he's going to have the greenest green light you've ever seen. And I would guess if that happens, he's going to be the favorite for Rookie of the Year just because his numbers are going to be so gaudy. He's going to go full Kobe and just shoot like crazy. And he's going to put up, you know, he'll probably have 20 points a game or something because he's super talented.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, so like there's a potential chance that like maybe he wins Rookie of the Year. Maybe Zion, spends the year sort of learning what position he's even going to play in the NBA. Even that's like who knows? Like, I've heard people say anything from like New Age 5 to like the biggest 3 like that you can imagine, like in terms of girth.
I mean, I could see them doing like a Giannis kind of situation.
I've heard that too. Just surround him with shooters, and it doesn't matter.
Surround him with
really.
shooters, and he like basically plays point.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what position he is. Like Giannis is like technically a 3-4, I guess, and sometimes they even have him as the biggest guy on the floor, but he's usually operates as a point guard. And that's where you get into, like, do you define someone by what they play or what they guard? And it just gets kind of weird. I do think that some, like, fun League Pass teams were created. The Grizzlies are going to be fun League Pass team. The Hawks. The Kings already are.
Yeah, so the Grizzlies.
A League Pass team meaning a team who
is probably not going to be
probably
good,
not going to be very good,
but
but they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're going to be good in, like, 3 years.
Right. The Grizzlies are, like, have probably the most explosive young core out of the entire league, right?
Explosive meaning athleticism?
Oh, yeah.
Between Ja Morant and
Jaren Jackson
Jr. and
Brandon Clark.
That's right. The dude from Gonzaga.
Yeah. We saw him play.
The dude could jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was probably a good steal for them, I think. Like, out of like the first round steals, I think them picking up Brandon Clark with whatever it was, the 23rd pick or whatever it was, they traded up to with the Thunder in order to get Brandon Clark. I think that the Portland Trailblazers
got Nasir Little. You love Nasir?
I love Nasir, and I think that's going to be like, that is such a prime.
It's a value spot too. Like, to pick him so late in the first round. like at 25, as a dude who like going into last season was a projected potential lottery pick.
Yeah.
So I mean, same with Bol for the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. They got him with the 44th pick, and he was a guy who was like a potential top 5 pick before the season started.
His medicals had to be fucking.
So many teams must have just had such garbage medicals on him. Which, if you're 7'2" and you weigh 200 pounds, and your foot's been fractured already or whatever, stress fracture in his foot already, it makes sense. He's gonna have to put on a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. He's another one. Like Bol might not be. You might not even know he's on the Nuggets for 3 years. You know what I mean? He's gonna be like a G League, Summer League guy.
I don't know, man. Like, I could see him. Like, I think the best spot for Bol is to come off the bench, just be a spark plug scorer, right? And not even a 5 to put him
at
like
the 4?
at the backup 4 spot. Yeah, man. Especially if he's like.
I kind of wish that the Heat had kept him.
Yeah.
Long term, if he was healthy and he put on weight and he got stronger, he would fit great next to Bam. And they could sort of like...
And what are you losing, really, with a second-round pick?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Who cares?
What did you guys know? Do you know what you guys got out of him?
Like another second-round pick or 2 second-round picks or something?
It's basically the same thing we did.
I think there was like they wanted to stay under a certain... Maybe the luxury tax or something. I don't know.
Your guys' cap is fucked.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's bad.
You got one of the worst caps in the league. Like... Thank God that the Thunder exists, because then you'd probably have the worst cap.
The Thunder are crazy. Yeah, it's bad. And it's weird because, like, only one of the contracts is, like, heinous. Like a huge, gaudy number. Like, Hassan makes $27 million this year. The next highest number is, I think, 19. That's Goran. It's not like that any one dude has a huge number. It's that we have so many mediocre dudes with numbers that are too big.
Right.
It's like, I think Dion makes 16 and JJ makes 16 and Kelly makes 13 and I think Justice now makes 13 and J-Rich now makes 12. It's like all of these dudes in like the teens and there's just too many of them. Mm. It's weird. Which you would think would make it easier to move some of them. But
like you would think that like somebody would be okay with J-Rich for 16, you know?
We're not moving we're moving Dion, James Johnson or Kelly Olynyk. And if you could, you would move us on Whiteside, but
James Johnson is another one that like I could see like
James Johnson could
contender.
be an impact player on a good team.
Yeah.
Like if you like put him on the Warriors or something,
yeah,
he's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, just like a really good defender that you can throw on.
Really,
Giannis, obviously,
really good defender. Mm-hmm. He was number 2 on that Giannis list, that Giannis stopper list. Yeah. There were a couple Heat players on there. I think Bam was on there too. But yeah. It is what it is. I'm not like one of those people that's like, fuck Pat Riley for this cap hell we're in. We had an amazing that year that we went 30-11 after that 11-30 start was so much fun that I'm cool with rewarding those dudes for it. I wish we had made the playoffs this year and has seen what we could have done in the playoffs because the Celtics like had injuries and or whoever was the 1 seed or the 2 seed had injuries and it was a team that we'd beaten multiple times in the regular season and I was like, we could push them in round 1. And it would have been fun to see that. But we ended up losing to the Knicks.
What was Bucks, Raptors?
This was like 3 years ago. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about this year.
No, that's why all these dudes got contracts. Because they went on that crazy run. And they played amazing. Like James Johnson was like... He was like a Draymond Green-esque player with better shooting that season. And Dion was like hitting clutch shot after clutch shot. And we added Kelly Olynyk after that season. So it was like all these dudes who like probably performed to the peak they'll ever perform at. And then we signed them for that peak, and then they obviously never were that good again. And we've had, Dion was hurt for half of last year. James Johnson got hurt. Like, so many injury problems. I'm not worried about it. I know that by the end of next season and the season after that, we're going to have, like, completely clear cap space, basically, and our young dudes are under really good team-friendly contracts, so I'm not worried about it. I like watching them no matter what. They play hard. They try to win every game. They're fun to watch. Like, I think people freak out too. I've said it before. I think that we shouldn't know what people make.
Yeah.
You'd have way more enjoyment if you didn't know that Hassan Whiteside was making $27 million.
Also, like, just all of the talks about like X player is worth Y amount is just so lame to me.
You're worth whatever people will pay you.
Yeah.
Like, you can say whatever you want about Timofey Mozgov or Bismack Biyombo, but somebody gave them that money.
Right.
Make your money, dude. What do you want them to do? Like, this like weird personal reaction to players getting paid more money than they quote unquote deserve. It's like, what do you want them to do? Be like, no, I don't want that money to support my family. Mm-hmm. I want to be paid like what's more worth my talent level. Not everyone can be Tom Brady and be married to Gisele Bündchen. Take less money.
Sure.
Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just like kind of taints a lot of the like your people like when you're constantly evaluating players relative to what they make, it just kind of taints the entire conversation. Yeah. Because like Evan Fournier is a good player, but for whatever reason, our entire fan base wants to get rid of him.
Well, yeah, it's like Nicholas Batum. I think is a good example. Nick Batum is like a solid role player.
Yeah,
he just makes way too much money.
Evan Turner is another one. So we talked about the Heat a little bit. So you guys drafted Tyler Hero with the first round pick.
My hero.
What do you think of him?
He's a really good shooter.
Yeah.
It's basically all I know about him.
That's it.
I hit up my boy Zach on Twitter. He's a Kentucky fan. I was like, hey, what can I expect? And he seemed pretty hype about him. He said he takes all the tough shots. He's like the dude that wants to take the tough shots, and he makes them. He's a great shooter.
He also said,
works hard.
I am a bucket.
Yeah. Quote, I am a bucket. Mm-hmm. He wore a vice-colored suit at the draft. That was fun.
And he
said drip a lot.
Yeah, he was referencing his own drip.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
He's as Bomani Jones. He is as Bomani Jones says radicalized.
I legit think that he could be the best shooter in the draft.
Yeah, he might be. Who's the other one? Cam Johnson's really good.
Cam Johnson's really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously bigger, and he has the precedent of shooting way better than Tyler Hero.
Didn't Tyler only shoot like 35% from three? But how many of those were like really tough shots, I wonder?
True.
Yeah.
How many of those are really tough shots? Also, he shot like 93% from the free throw line. So like,
we need that.
Well,
we have awful free throw shooters.
How many guys like at the collegiate level, who are first round talents end up like going into the league with like shooting in the 90s from the line? And
JJ Redick
end up not being above average shooters.
Yeah, exactly. Because free throw shooting is a what's the word?
It's good like litmus test.
It's like a barometer for what kind of shooter you're going to be.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like scouts will use your free throw percentage over your 3-point percentage to try to figure out what kind of shooter you're going to be long term.
I think that there's a couple things that you can look at. Like I would say, like the main three things are like your form, your 3-point field goal percentage, as well as your free throw percentage. Using those together, but I don't think
Tyler Hero's form looks great. He's got a beautiful shot. Yeah,
beautiful.
And so I just saw a quote from Pat Riley today, and he was like, he's got the same cockiness that Tyler Johnson had. And I was like, okay. I know that you like
Tyler
a
Johnson
certain
more than I do. I don't know.
I know that Pat Riley likes a certain type of person and player. And
is that like a step? Is that like a rung below Dion Waiters?
Dion Waiters is in an astronomical level of cocky.
Yeah.
He's the cockiest dude in existence.
Yeah.
To a point that it's a detriment to himself and the people around him. I would say it's like 4 or 5 steps below Dion Waiters. But like to get to healthy cocky, you need to go at least 3 down. Dion Waiters truly believes he can make any shot against anyone at any time, no matter what. I wonder if he'll play better next year.
Do you feel
coming in healthy?
What do you think is the healthiest balance of confidence for an NBA player?
Michael Jordan.
But like,
no, that's probably not healthy actually. If I think about it, like if you had Michael Jordan's confidence, cockiness level, but you weren't as talented as him,
it
would be awful.
Right.
Or like Kobe. If you had Kobe's confidence level, but you weren't as talented as him, it would be bad. You would find yourself Dion Waiters. Mm-hmm. So like, what is the average level of confidence for an average NBA player? I think it's the confidence to always shoot when you're open. You know what I mean? You know how a lot of players will shy away from that? Like Kyle Lowry will do that sometimes. He'll pass up open looks. Mm-hmm. I think that the right level of confidence is that guy who, no matter the situation, knows when it's a good shot and always takes it. I think that's probably a pretty good definition of like the right level of confidence.
Mm-hmm. But it's weird how like that level of confidence, right, will like lead to a specific skill set. Because I feel like that literal like passivity will lead to literal passing, right? Mm-hmm. Like Kyle Lowry,
Marc Gasol, Kyle Lowry syndrome,
right? Like Kyle Lowry is someone who's
it's a very good shooter.
Keller is a good shooter. He wasn't always the greatest shooter. He shot really bad coming into the league.
But now he's
a good shooter. Now he's an above average shooter. And there's like, I think one season where he shot like 40%. So like he's developed his shot really well, but he's someone who's like a way better passer.
Yeah, he's a great passer.
And like a lot of times that passivity can be kind of like you said before, like when you were referring to the level of Dion Waiters' confidence, but like it can be kind of a detriment.
Yeah.
You know, if you are a really good shooter and you're wide open, maybe you should be taking that
Shoot.
shot. Right. Yeah, it's almost, it's like you're okay with Michael Jordan having that level of confidence because he has that level of talent.
Yeah.
But, you know, like if you're a fucking 33-year-old J.R. Smith, like, you know,
slow your roll, dog.
Maybe you should be a little bit more humble.
Yeah.
Be humble. It's a fucked up thing to say, but like,
sit down. Be humble. We haven't talked about the finals. They ended while I was gone too. They ended the day I left.
We have yet to talk about.
I was gone.
The finals.
I was gone.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
We watched
It's
Game
been that
6
long?
together. We watched Game 6.
I feel like it was like a month ago.
We watched Game 6 the day. Remember how long it took to get to the airport after we watched that game?
Uh-huh.
It was stupid.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We specifically went to a Buffalo Wild Wings that was 10 minutes away from the airport so that we could watch the whole game before my flight left. And then it took us like an hour to get to my terminal. It was insane. I don't know what happened.
Everybody had the same plan as us.
Yeah, I guess that's what happened. But yeah, that game was amazing. The whole series was great, I thought.
True.
It was a great series.
Wow. Should have started off with that, but either way.
Whatever. Who cares?
It was an incredible series. Fucking hats off to the Toronto Raptors.
I feel really bad for Clay and KD, but like,
yeah,
just the injuries in general are kind of a bummer. Like, I don't like a full strength Warriors team does not lose in 6. I'm not saying they win. I think they win. I'm not saying they win. They don't lose in 6. I know that.
I think they would win.
I
don't think that's that
I
crazy
think
to
if
say.
Clay didn't get hurt, that the Warriors would have won that game. Clay was going bonkers. Game 6 Clay is a real thing. The Clay game, dude. Oh my God. He had 30 on 12 shots. Can I interest you in that? Can I interest you in that? That's like 2.5 points per shot. It's insane. It's completely nuts.
How many dribbles, do you know? Let's talk
Probably like 3. He probably dribbled like 3 times.
Yeah.
He's nuts. He's so good.
Yeah.
It's insane. I think he'll stay. I don't see.
Kyle Lowry also popped off in the game too.
Kyle was amazing in that game. It was amazing.
Scored like the first
Kawhi
11
really
points.
didn't do much that game. He was spent though, dude. He had just been like, he'd been beat up earlier in the playoffs. He'd been full on carry jobs throughout the playoffs for them at moments. Like the explosion he had in Game 5 where he scored 10 straight points in the fourth quarter and it looked like they were going to win. And then Steph went crazy and like him and Clay hit huge threes to win that game. Like it was almost like that was Kawhi. Like, you know, like the stamina bars in games. He had like an override stamina moment where he was like able to drain his permanent stamina to use temporary stamina. Like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
So he was just like so gassed in the next game. Oh, but he was so great all playoffs. He was amazing. Serge was really great that series. Marc Gasol was great. So many of the Raptors role players just really stepped up.
So like fucking. Let's talk about Masai Ujiri for a little bit.
Baller.
Right? So, fucking obviously the Kawhi deal, huge, right?
Marc Gasol deal too.
Well, how important was that Marc Gasol deal?
It's
I
huge.
feel like that's like completely overlooked.
Marc Gasol and Jonas Valanciunas are very different players. I don't know if they win this series with Jonas Valanciunas.
I agree.
I don't know if Jonas Valanciunas can stay on the floor against Steph Curry. I don't know if Jonas Valanciunas can move the ball as effectively the way Marc Gasol does to the right spot at the right time. I don't know if he can shoot like Marc Gasol. He can't defend like Marc Gasol.
Exactly.
Jonas Valanciunas is a good player,
Yeah.
but he's not Marc Gasol. Even old Marc.
But like, obviously, Mark can shoot better than JV. He can defend better than JV. But like the passing that Marc Gasol provided, just
The IQ,
completely,
dog.
it gave like that like extra 10 to 15% more like efficiency, like the the ball movement that the Raptors had. like you can completely attribute that to Marc Gasol, and all of the,
it was like putting another Kyle Lowry on the floor, just a giant one.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of what it's like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like that he kept talking about how big Fred VanVleet's balls were after the game. That was funny.
Marc Gasol said that?
He said it like 6 times in 6 different words. He kept saying like, he was like acting like he was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say balls. So he kept saying like cojones and like nuts. He just said like to different people, he gave different quotes, but in all of them, he was basically like, Fred VanVleet has huge balls. Because he took huge shots down the stretch of that game and he hit them.
Mm-hmm.
He had like 21 points in that game. He was amazing.
Yeah, played really well.
It's fucking dad mode, Fred, dude. Steady Freddy.
I like how offended he is by like people bringing that up.
He's like fake offended. He's like,
Yeah.
I wish that I didn't tell anyone I had a baby, because then like my own success would be attributed to me and not my baby. It's very funny. There were a couple trades while I was gone, I think, too. AD got traded. Yeah, dude, it's been a while.
We went about this so ass backwards because
We went in reverse order or something.
Right. So, NBA draft, fucking finals, right? AD trade. Do you feel like the Lakers gave up too much for Anthony Davis?
I think it depends on context.
I think it's a good trade for both teams.
I think it's just like
They both want.
I think the thing is they had to do it, no matter what. Their team was too like morally broken the way it was constructed to continue, and they just had to do it. They had to say, "What do you want, Pelicans?" and we'll do it. And maybe they gave up like one too many picks, and maybe they should have found a way for the Pelicans to let them wait until July 30th to execute the trade, whatever. I think it's fine.
There's a lot of like bonehead moves that were made that like didn't really.
I mean, like it seems like Rob
maximize the skill for
Pelinka
the
doesn't know what
Lakers.
he's doing.
Yeah.
And it seems like an experienced general manager like maybe took advantage of a less experienced general manager in David Griffin, getting all that extra stuff out of him. And then it coming out afterward that like there were leaked rumors that like the Lakers didn't know about the July 30th versus July 6th thing. And it's like, that's your job to know that, how that works.
Sure.
You can't fuck that up. But I think they had to do it. And they wanted to keep, apparently they were really adamant about keeping Kuzma, and they did. So, I mean, if that's what you want, good for you. I think the Pelicans are going to be exciting. I think they've got a good future ahead of them. A lot of assets, promising young talent.
Yeah, so the amount of moves that David Griffin made, like from that trade through draft
he
night,
turned
was
the
just
fourth pick
completely-
into more picks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he turned the fourth pick into
Hawks picks.
into one of so
Two
two
of
of the
the
Hawks
Hawks
picks,
picks,
but it was one of either 8 or 10, and as well
I
as
think it
the
was 10 and
17.
17.
So basically, he used that fourth pick and used it to turn that into Jackson Hayes and Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Which I think when he had the fourth pick, he was looking at the construction of the team, and I think he kind of realized he needed a big.
Mm-hmm.
He needed a young big. Like, he's got Julio Okafor, but other than that,
Right.
maybe they bring back Julius Randle. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
I also think that
but he knew that at 4, he didn't need to take a big at 4.
I also think that there's a good chance that this is not the finalized
Oh,
Pelicans roster.
no, definitely not.
Who knows what's going to happen throughout free agency? What other moves that they're going to make?
Yeah, apparently they want to get a veteran. They're trying to, like, compete.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting.
Do it. You play to win the game, dude.
That's true, but I also think that you could probably win a certain amount of games. Like, you can still compete, like
They're going to be competitive,
competitive, but I
don't know if their record's going to be good. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to, like, if you got rid of Drew Holiday and you're just like, fuck it, we're going to go all young, exciting motherfuckers.
I'd love to see Drew on a really good team. Love it. You know where Drew would be great?
Where?
With LeBron.
Yeah.
Drew's the ultimate, like, LeBron player. Can shoot, can defend. Doesn't need the ball.
Be solid. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of potential deals there. One that I was like kind of excited by, like pre-draft, that I actually thought was going to happen was Lonzo Ball to the Suns.
Being moved, yeah.
For the 6th pick. I thought that was going to happen.
Lonzo and Booker would be interesting together.
I think that's a perfect backcourt, right? If you're going,
I don't want to say perfect. But
not perfect backcourt, but like they complement each other.
Like
very
Steph
well.
and Clay might be a perfect
That's
backcourt.
a perfect backcourt. Excuse me, but they complement each other really well.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
They cover up each other's weaknesses very well.
Right, like exactly. Yeah.
It'd be nice if Lonzo shot better.
I think that would help out with any
Yeah,
situation that he
yeah.
was in. But like, if you're going to put him next to someone, I think that Devin Booker would be a really good one. And they just cover up each other's weaknesses really well. Yeah. So it just seems like it would be really weird if they were like, okay, this is the young core moving forward, you know? Because like I think that Lakers trade was not the best trade for them to. Like as far as like the talent to put around Zion,
Because they're not good shooters.
because they're not good shooters. And
Brandon Ingram's not a bad shooter, but
huh?
Brandon Ingram's not a bad shooter.
I think he's below average.
He shot like 39% a couple years ago. I know that. Off the top of my head, I know that.
Or his
His
rookie
second
year?
season, I think. I don't know what he shot last year, but I know he got hurt halfway through
yeah.
and had to change his game because LeBron was there.
Right, but I think that like you might run into a lot of that same stuff that you had with LeBron while he was in LA.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have a lot of shooters there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like I was like, oh, you know, maybe they trade away Lonzo for that Suns pick and get Darius Garland. I thought that would have been a good, be an interesting trade. So who knows? But it was for sure the best deal. It seemed like to me. It seemed like the best deal to acquire the most assets.
Yeah,
and they acquired a shit ton of assets.
yeah. I don't think the Celtics deal would have been as good.
Well, they didn't want to include Jason.
They
Tatum.
wouldn't include Jason Tatum. So.
I think if you were like,
if you could have got Jason Tatum, you're talking about a different story.
Yeah,
that's like a potential perennial all-star.
True, and that's someone that like you wouldn't move if like that. That is
fit great next to Zion.
Exactly.
Yep.
Really good.
Yep. Josh Hart fits well.
True. I would keep him there.
If you're the Lakers, are you trying to get a max spot to get a max player, or are you trying to use that money to fill out the roster more?
So I don't know, man. I've had conflicting thoughts about this, about how like I think that you could go either way. That the idea that like if you have Kemba, LeBron, and Anthony Davis,
that trio
like
is disgusting.
Like
or Kyrie, LeBron, AD.
We've seen how this plays out with this last finals. If one of those three gets hurt, then
yeah, but we've also seen LeBron win a ring with this.
We've seen LeBron win a ring with it, and the Warriors
it's almost exactly what he did in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin Love, but better. Like AD is better than Kevin Love.
Yeah. But I can also I can see the value of them trying to go after, if they're going after Patrick Beverley, Seth Curry, Thabo Cephalosha.
Yep. I did a little
guys
on
in that range.
2K. I experimented with it. I filled out a roster with Darren Collison, George Hill, Danny Green, another veteran shooting guard that could shoot, and I think a center as well. I think Joakim Noah or something.
Okay.
You can get 4 or 5 quality veterans.
Yeah.
In terms of money and value. Obviously 2K's not an exact barometer, but
true. One thing that I've heard that I think is interesting, and a lot of people are like, oh, that will never happen, but I think that it's more possible than people are giving it credit, is D'Lo.
Yeah,
is D'Lo going back?
It's just weird because him going back would be weird.
It's strange.
It's possible.
But he's a different player. And he's someone
but is
that
he is he the right type of player to play with LeBron?
Do you not think so?
I don't know. I think he could be. I want D'Lo to stay in Brooklyn.
I completely agree with you. I hope Kyrie doesn't go to Brooklyn so that D'Lo stays there.
Yeah.
D'Lo is there's a good chance that he might go to Orlando. I still want him to stay in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. If you could pick a team for Kyrie to go to, what would it be?
The Knicks.
The Knicks?
Yeah. Because then Frank Ntilikina is definitely out of there.
Part of me says the Knicks because it's funny. And like the implosion of just egos and ridiculousness that will come from it. But another part of me says the Lakers because him and LeBron were so great together.
That would be fun.
And it would just be, it'd be really, like maybe he's learned like being the guy is way harder than he thought it was going to be.
Right.
Whereas, I mean, what are the Knicks going to be with him now? Next year, if any, like maybe they still get Kevin Durant, but he's not playing next year.
Like I think obviously the Lakers situation is intriguing. It's obviously really interesting as far as how they're going to move forward with both LeBron and Anthony Davis. But I think that people are like, well, Kyrie is obviously the better player. Like, so I would rather go with him than with D'Lo. You know what I mean?
I think I might want Kemba out of all of them.
Yeah?
On the Lakers. I love.
Why
Kemba.
is that?
Well, one, I'd want to go watch him. I love Kemba. I also think that Kemba would just be in the mindset of a dude who just wants to win so bad. He's been on horrible teams like his whole career. Yeah. Since he got into the league.
Here you go, Kemba. Here's the two best teammates you've ever had
in your life. Yeah, exactly. And I think he'd be the type of guy who would be perfectly fine being that third dude while being amazing at it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so like I think constructing a hierarchy of offense, right, is like it can get kind of weird when you get to that kind of talent, right? Because I think when it comes to someone creating their own shot, you know what I mean? Like Kemba might, like
Kemba's amazing at it. Kemba's one of the best in the league at that.
Exactly. Like, and if you're going to create a hierarchy of things, like maybe you want Kemba to be your number one option on offense because that's what he's there for, right? You know, like obviously LeBron's going to be LeBron, you know, like, but I don't creating it like a stagnant hierarchy of it being like, well, LeBron's number one.
I don't know if it's stagnant. It's just what happens. Like the Heatles, LeBron was number one, Wade was number two, Bosh was number three. It just happened.
But it's also like that's something that's way different because Dwayne Wade is way better on defense than Kemba ever was and ever will.
And it happened in Cleveland with him. LeBron was number one, Kyrie was number two, Kevin Love was number three. It just happened.
But that's kind of what I'm talking about, right? That perceived like LeBron is number one. Obviously, he's the most important player, but there was several times where like LeBron is just.
That's why I think Kemba could be great with him because Kemba's the type of player that can be the guy who, when LeBron needs to sit or LeBron needs to coast, give the ball to Kemba.
But like that hierarchy thing. Like is like it's more dynamic than people give it credit for, right?
Oh
like,
yeah, sure.
I don't think that anytime that LeBron is on is running an offense, right? Like I don't think that it's ever that stagnant. It's ever like it's going to be more versatile than people give it credit for.
Oh, of course. And because like LeBron's too smart for it not to be.
Because there was plenty of times last year when they were going against the Raptors that like Kevin Love was the number one option throughout. Like
when he was cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like people forget how good Kevin Love can be.
Right. He's another one. He's another one. Like, is he going to go somewhere?
Blazers. That's my vote. You got to send Evan Turner for the money. Give him one of your young centers. Give him Zach Collins or Myers Leonard. Probably they're going to want Zach Collins. Give him a Fernie Simons.
Give
him a draft pick.
Can we have like some weird like Timberwolves Indian giving situation where they give them back Andrew Wiggins and then they get Kevin Love? Do you think they would rather have that?
Do I think the Timberwolves would rather have Kevin Love now than Andrew Wiggins?
Yeah.
Yeah. They both make too much money.
How bad is
But
that?
Kevin Love is way better at like fitting himself into a role than Wiggins. Wiggins got that Maple Mamba mentality. It's going to shoot you out of games. What happened to him, man? He was supposed to be like the dude. Remember that? And this is another reason we're talking about the draft. This is like another reason why I don't put a ton of stock into it. That draft had Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker, and they were supposed to be like the best two prospects since LeBron James. And what have they done? Nothing. Mm-hmm. And part of it isn't Jabari's fault. He had 2 ACL tears.
True.
But still, like, he's also the dude walking out there being like, man, I don't get paid to play defense.
Yeah, it's whack.
Come on.
And I also like, who knows if Andrew Wiggins was in a different situation, if he would have been a different player. Like, that's another thing.
But like the Timberwolves don't seem like a bad situation.
I don't know.
Even with Jimmy, like,
I don't know. Well, here's the thing.
Let Jimmy tell you what to do. Listen to Jimmy.
Obviously, like, the whole Jimmy situation was that was dramatic and fucking awful. Like I don't
was
think
nuts.
that's really nurturing for.
It was wild.
Like you saw the difference between Karl Anthony Towns from before Jimmy Butler and after he left.
Yeah,
right?
but it was also before Tom Thibodeau and after Tom Thibodeau.
Tom Thibodeau was there while Jimmy Butler was there, right?
During Tom Thibodeau and after Tom Thibodeau. Tibbs got fired and Jimmy left, and then Cat balled out. Thank you, Flip Saunders' son, for creating a nurturing environment for these young players.
True.
What's his name? He has a normal
Ryan
name.
Saunders.
Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's not Slip.
Yep.
Skip Saunders.
Dip Saunders. Who are some other interesting ones? Okay,
Mike
so
Conley.
So going back to the Kyrie
Mike
thing.
Conley.
I was going to finish my Kyrie.
I
thing.
thought like other interesting
Okay.
things. Okay.
Okay, so I saw a debate on who would you rather have, Kyrie or D'Lo, right?
Again, context is important.
For the Lakers, if you're the Lakers, would you rather
Kyrie.
If you're giving them the exact same contract, you would rather have Kyrie?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
One, D'Lo could be in a situation where what we saw last year out of D'Lo while Karis LeVert was hurt is the best D'Lo might ever play.
True.
He hit a lot of like weird, like floaters and runners and shit, and like he takes weird, wild shots, and he takes a lot of bad shots, but he makes them or made them last year. Two, Kyrie knows how to play with LeBron. They've experienced winning championships together. Three, you know Kyrie can play at a championship level. Four, you're not getting Boston Kyrie because Kyrie isn't the leader of the team.
That's a good argument. My argument is that D'Lo sets you up for now as well as the future. So I think like
doesn't AD already do that? I mean, Kyrie's not old, but Kyrie and AD aren't old.
I mean, how old's Kyrie?
20, maybe 28, maybe. I think he's way younger than that though. I think he's like 26.
But D'Lo's 23. And he's a 23-year-old all-star.
But if you're talking about Kyrie's 27, and I think Anthony Davis is 26.
But like, I don't think that you only have to Anthony Davis already sets us up for our future,
No,
so we don't have to worry about
But I'm
that.
saying like Kyrie also fits that timeline. If your argument is D'Lo sets you up for the future, Kyrie also fits into that same timeline.
How much younger is? So you said Kyrie's how old?
27.
27.
He's basically
He's
the
4
same age
years
as Anthony
younger.
Davis.
Okay. Good argument.
Yeah. Because like you have to assume you have 3 years left of LeBron because that's when his contract ends and he'll probably retire. Might not, but probably. So obviously, like that's your present. What can you do with the next 3 years? But after that, so they'll both be like 30. AD and Kyrie, they'll both be around 30 years old. Prime of the career. That's weird. That AD's like 3 years away from still being in his prime. He's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Mike Conley.
Okay. How psyched were you for that trade?
Hype.
Yeah.
Hype.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Conley with Donovan Mitchell. Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please. Ooh, that's fun.
Dude, he doesn't get enough respect.
Mike Conley?
Yeah, dude. Like I saw
No, he doesn't get
plenty
no
of stuff on Reddit.
Respect.
He's nice. I saw just like so much like kind of disparaging of Mike Conley and like the like why would the Jazz do this like just to get bumped out of the second round like
I think that with Mike Conley, like if they played the Rockets again, I'm taking the Jazz.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Jazz because Mike Conley can guard James Harden. Mike Conley can take so much pressure off of Donovan Mitchell to be the sole creator on that offense. They're a power forward away from being like championship contenders. And not even like a great power forward, just one that can shoot.
Memphis also got a little bit out of the deal. Like I thought
They got Grayson Allen. They got
this year's like 20.
They got a couple picks.
And like another first round pick.
And they got a couple weird players. They got like Jay Crowder and another
Kyle
veteran. Kyle Korver.
Who's going to get bought out, right?
Probably. I would expect. Jay Crowder might get bought out too. Yeah, dude. Like if you can get one dude that can play the 4 and shoot, he doesn't have to be great. just be able to spread the floor.
And one that you brought up that would be an interesting situation for this player to go to, Al Horford.
Oh, yeah. I saw that on Reddit, and I was like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they can afford him, but it's an interesting idea.
Like, he's not my top destination. Dude.
No, he's been linked to other teams. Dallas is a big one.
Lakers.
Clippers. Ooh.
Clippers.
Him and Kawhi both go there?
They have the space.
Hey!
Zach Lowe reported that they have the space to get both Kawhi and Al Horford. And if they do,
that'd be nasty.
I think those are the favorites.
Oh, yeah. I think
Those
the
are
Clippers
favorites.
might be the favorites in the West anyway if they get Kawhi. If they keep all the pieces, like if they bring back P-Bev, like all their role players, they keep them all. Al Horford gives you a lot of... Al Horford gives you huge insurance against Danilo Gallinari getting hurt and stuff too, though.
Obviously, like, P-Bev would be, a great fucking role player to have for
He wouldn't start. You would start SGA.
Yeah,
but you'd have P-Bev to fucking
but that's the thing, is like
dude.
not like incredibly needed. Like he would be more needed for the Lakers, obviously. Like that, I think that would be like if you can't get Kyrie.
Mm-hmm. If you don't get a max point guard, you go after a guy like Patrick Beverley.
Mm-hmm.
Or a guy like Darren Collison. He's a similar. He's not as rambunctious as Patrick Beverley, but he's like a similar type of player.
Yeah, but the Clippers for the most part, like the same team that they had this year.
Yeah, but just put Kawhi on it,
or at least for the
latter half of the season.
The latter half of the year.
It's basically like turn Tobias Harris into Kawhi.
What's gonna happen with Tobias Harris and Jimmy?
Apparently they want to keep them both. I think Jimmy's gonna stay.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of they fought so hard and he likes that and they want to like win so bad. And he's 30 years old and can get a 5-year huge money deal from them. He can't get that from anybody else. Toby might stay. I think Toby could go to the Nets, would be pretty cool. Toby could go to the Jazz, would be cool. Toby go to the Pacers, that would be cool. Toby's like the type of player that can fit almost anywhere, and it would be really fun, an interesting fit. He would fit great on the Lakers, fit great on the Clippers. Like there's just go back to the Clippers. That'd be so funny. Wherever he goes, I hope Bobby follows. That's what I care about.
Word.
Yep. Don't break up that friendship.
I'm down for that. Is he an unrestricted free agent though?
I think so.
Bobby?
I think so. I know he's a free agent. I don't know if he's unrestricted or not. But I think he is. You want to talk about something else?
Yeah.
We watched some trailers.
I forgot what we watched.
Did you like that Peanut Butter Falcon trailer?
Okay. Yeah, that was the
looks
one
really
that was
good.
the most.
That looks really good, right?
The most excited for.
So, I've got the Reddit post up from the guy who created this movie, Peanut Butter Falcon, starring Shia LaBeouf and a bunch of other people. It was a pretty long post. Let me get the important parts out of here. This dude said, 5 years ago, a friend of ours with Down syndrome said he wanted to be a movie star, and he asked us to make a movie with him. We immediately said yes because we knew Zach had the talent to carry a feature film. He just needed the shot. And if he could get into a movie, we knew he would hit a home run. So we wrote this film specifically tailored for him. I couldn't be more proud of people to meet Zach. I think it's Gottsagen. I don't really know how to pronounce it. And see the performance that he gives in The Peanut Butter Falcon, alongside Shia LaBeouf, Dakota Johnson, John Hawkes, Thomas Hayden Church, John Bernthal, Bruce Dern, Yellow Wolf, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Mick Foley. Yeah, dude.
Yo!
And there's a part in here, let me find it. Somebody asked him basically like, how did they manage to get that cast? And he said, we shot a trailer with no money, slid up in people's DMs and got one yes. Then a landslide of help, support, and good vibes. I was homeless at the time, living in a tent behind someone's house in LA.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the story behind this movie is nuts. And the trailer looks so good. Yeah. It looks like such a heartwarming, funny, just like great movie.
Yeah. And the fucking cast is incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like you said, fucking Shia LaBeouf is a crazy person.
He's a great actor.
Usually,
he's a great actor.
Crazy people are good actors.
Yeah.
He's got that fucking Joaquin Phoenix fucking vibe. That he's a level of crazy that like I wouldn't want to hang out with that person, but I'll watch him in a movie.
Yeah. And this is like the ultimate Shia LaBeouf type of movie. too. Like just him in that sort of like I'm like a rough around the edges.
Yeah.
I might be homeless. I don't know.
Like I'm this close to being a vagrant.
But I've got like a golden heart.
Yeah. Well, no, I felt like the fucking quintessential guy. Like when I saw his face in the trailer, I was like, of course he's in this movie because like you see like
John Hawkes.
It was John Hawkes.
Yeah.
Right. Like I was like, because like there's like a couple shots. There was one that was like like a rusty railroad track.
Yep.
And like the wilderness.
Yeah.
And then it showed John Hawkes in a kitchen or something. I was like, of course John Hawkes is in this movie.
Yeah. Dude, the cast is so good that John Bernthal gets like half a second of screen time in the trailer.
I don't even think I saw him.
John Bernthal.
Fucking
John Bernthal.
Yellow Wolf?
Yeah, I didn't even know.
I didn't know Yellow Wolf.
I just read it. Look, Yellow Wolf's in this movie.
Yeah, Bruce Dern.
Think about my mama.
Johnson.
It looks
Has
really
Dakota
good.
Johnson been in anything good?
Has she been in anything good?
Yeah.
Or does she just keep getting work? She's in the 50 Shades. She's known for the 50 Shades movies.
She's got to be in something good.
I'm going to look at her IMDb right now and let you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it'd be a particular interest to you because of your brother.
Obviously.
So I'm just going to like hit a little closer to home. I don't know if you've ever talked about that on the show. About Craig on the show.
Okay,
before.
yeah. So for those that don't know, my brother Craig has autism.
What up, Craig?
Yeah, and
he never wants the same teams to win in sports as me, ever.
Which is like you just have to go for the bandwagon teams.
He always is the opposite of me. Always.
I think he's just trying to clown you.
He might be, and it's working.
He's just trying to roast
And he
you.
always roasts me after. He'll be like, he'll hit me up and he'll be like, "Who do you want to win the Super Bowl, Patriots or Falcons?" And I'll be like, "Falcons." And he'll be like, "Oh, I'm rooting for the Patriots."
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll hit me up after and he'll be like, "Patriots won." He won't say anything mean. He'll just say, "The New England Patriots won the Super Bowl."
You're definitely getting.
And I'm just like, he's roasting me right now.
You're definitely getting trolled. Anyways,
He was in the Bad Times at El Royale.
Okay, yeah. But anyways, yeah, my brother is super high functioning man with autism, and growing up, I volunteered a lot with Special Olympics and something that was local to our area called the Friends Chorus, which is a chorus that's made up of mentally challenged.
They do a lot of amazing work back in our hometown.
Yeah.
What's that teacher's name?
Miss Dane.
Miss
Connie
Dane. She's amazing.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time around people with Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
So it appeals to me. Like it hits.
He seems like he's super funny too. That line where he's like,
it seems great.
Where Shia LaBeouf gives him rule number 1, I'm in charge. Rule number 2, I'd say, what's rule number 1? He's like, party.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like it's really fun. Really heartwarming.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like I'm excited to see Shia and this actor.
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
Zach something.
Yeah. Them
I don't know how to say
interact throughout the.
Yeah. So you asked if she's been in any good movies. She was in The Social Network.
Oh shit, that's right. I knew that was she's the fucking French student.
That's her second credit on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
She was also
I knew I was forgetting something.
She was also in 21 Jump Street.
That's a good dude. That's such a good scene with her too, because she's like interacting with Justin Timberlake. Oh my god, I just slept with Sean Parker.
Yeah,
you just slept on
she
Sean.
Does, yeah, she's in The Office. She plays
What?
Dakota, Kevin's replacement.
What?
Which again,
Does she talk like this?
but other than that, like
My name's Dakota.
she gets a lot of work for someone.
Like M&Ms.
She gets a lot of work for someone whose like filmography isn't great.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's bad or anything.
No.
She's fine.
No. I don't think that 50 Shades was her fault.
No, 50 Shades' fault is its
It's 50
existence.
Shades.
Its existence is its fault. It's that lady who wrote a Twilight fanfic that became
Her name is Stephanie Meyer.
that person.
Oh wait, no.
That's Twilight.
Son of a bitch.
I don't know the 50
It's the
Shades.
same person, basically. That's why.
It's a pen name, dude. It's not. It's actually just her.
Yeah, it's her pseudonym.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know who wrote
I don't know her name. Anyway, that movie looks really
R.L. Stein.
Lemony Snicket.
Great trailer.
Yeah, really looks really good. It's getting a lot of big rave reviews from like different what are they called? Festival circuits and stuff like that. Also, good for whoever that Reddit user is that made it. Dude, like, you made it. You did it. I hope you're not homeless anymore.
Yeah.
Good for you. What other trailers did we watch? Oh, what was it called? Point Blank?
Okay.
I wanted to watch. That's the most dad movie that ever existed. The trailer for this movie, I watched that and I was like, my dad will love this movie.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to like it. It looks fun. I love Frank Grillo and Anthony Mackie, so I'm in. You know what I mean?
What's that movie that had Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson in it?
God.
I got that kind of vibe.
The henchman's bodyguard or the something's bodyguard or they're making a
Hitman's
sequel.
Bodyguard.
The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah.
They're making a sequel to that. I think it's called The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard or something. And
Get the fuck out.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard with Salma Hayek joining the cast.
Okay.
Yeah. And Frank Grillo's in it.
Things have come full
Dude,
circle.
let Frank Grillo work. I love that guy.
What's the name of it? Point Blank.
Point Blank.
It's not Point Break.
Yeah, it's not Point Break. It's Point Blank.
With Anthony Mackie and Frank Grillo.
Yeah. It looks like a movie, right?
It looks like an action
like an action movie. But those two dudes specifically, I really like them. So like, I'm kind of like, I really like Frank Grillo, and I want him to do more and more work. And I really like when Anthony Mackie gets the dude with the defibrillator. I think it's a cool little thing. He's like, oh man, he tricks the cop. He's like, the dude's dying, and then he defibrillates the cop. Defibrillate, right? Defibrillate.
Microgement.
Microchip. Oh man. Yeah, it's just I just thought it was funny. Like the reaction that I had was like, "This is the most dad movie that exists."
Very much.
Straight to Netflix.
It's appealing if you like those guys.
I think it'll be fun. We watched the new Stranger Things trailer. Boy, shit look good.
I really hope it's better than season 2. I'm like I have reservations.
Here's the thing. Season 2 isn't bad. There's one episode that's bad. But season 2 isn't bad.
It's meh. So you have one episode that's bad.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the entirety of the season, like the good part, if you take out that
bad episode, which you could literally skip and miss nothing.
There's one part that's like
because she discovers
she has a moment where she connects with Papa.
Yeah, that's
at the
true.
end of the episode.
So just like fast forward, watch that scene.
And that's kind of all you really need to know about that episode. But even if you remove that, right, and you look at the rest of the season in a vacuum, it's not as good as the first season.
It's not as good as season 1, but I think it's still good. I think it's still pretty good.
I think it's still kind of meh.
You get fucking Dad Steve.
There is specific
You get Sean
parts,
Astin.
There are specific parts of it
you
that
get
I really like.
David Harbour killing it. Dad Harbour.
Fucking David Harbour in a Kramer versus Kramer situation is good.
Yeah.
I liked that. Like him being struggling with being a father.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
It's
that.
great.
But for the most part, you don't have
we don't have the kids interacting the way we used to.
I would say for the most part across the board, you don't get a lot of the characters that you really like interacting with each other. That's why the best part of season 2 is 2 characters that are interacting with each other.
Steven.
You didn't know that you wanted until you see it.
What is his character's name? Steve and
Dustin.
His real name's Gavin, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking of it as Gavin. Steve and Dustin, which, but it's just kind of the beauty of those kinds of things when you have an ensemble cast and you think, what different pairings can we... It's like with Friends, right? You're like, oh man, I always think about Joey and Chandler, Rachel and Monica, Ross and Rachel. I don't know who Phoebe hangs out with the most. Phoebe and Phoebe. Right. But then you're like, how can we mix it up and make fun? Like, what happens when we do an episode where
Joey
and Ross are hanging out, or Chandler's with Phoebe, and it's you can switch things around. The thing that's different is Friends is a 22 episodes per season sitcom, and it's basically built around shenanigans. What shenanigans can we have each episode? Whereas Stranger Things is a shorter, continuous story. Sort of, it's way more difficult to do. Yeah. But I love that idea of moving this Steve Dustin storyline, just created such gold.
Yeah,
being these 2 characters you didn't expect to interact created such just beautiful moments.
Yeah,
and hilarity.
They also they pivoted so hard with Steve's character.
Yeah,
Like it was
it's one
really
of the
smart.
what's one of the best come ups of a character I can think of, or comebacks, I guess you could say.
What I mean, I think that it's super similar to the New Girl in a way, and how that they just pivoted with the character really well, right? Like
with Winston.
With Winston.
They didn't know who Winston was, dude.
Yeah, they thought he was going to be some basketball
Well, and it's weird
player,
because when you watch the pilot, he's not in it. It's Coach.
Mm-hmm.
So they just had to completely. I think Damon Wayans Jr. got a different role on a different show, so he ended up not being in New Girl. So they added in Lamorne Morris, who's playing Winston, and they were like, "We have to figure out who this guy is." Starts out as a weird dude who played basketball in Latvia, and he ends up being the weirdest, most wackadoodle, best character.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
I love that show.
I mean, it's kind of like the inverse of that with Steve, right?
Yeah.
Like he started off as kind of like a
classic bully, high school jerk,
bully, kind of jock,
douche
jerk.
bro.
Yeah. With fair hair.
With great hair.
Yeah.
And he ended up being
with the hair.
Yeah. Then he ended up being Dad Steve Dad, Papa Steve, John Ralphio's dad.
Yeah, so I do have my reservations as far as
but I also I like fake Zac Efron.
Yeah, he's fun.
I think he's going to be more fun in the next season. I don't know if you ever saw the trailer of him at the pool.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
that scene looks so funny to me. I don't know that dude's name. He's the Red Ranger. He's fake Zac Efron.
I don't see Zac Efron.
I don't know how you don't see it. I don't.
He's just a heartthrob. So you have heartthrobs, the umbrella of heartthrobs, right? Zac Efron is a heartthrob.
Yeah.
This dude is also a heartthrob.
I think they look alike. I find that
vaguely racist.
When I saw against heartthrobs, when I saw the Power Rangers trailer, I literally thought he was Zac Efron for a second. When that trailer first came out, I was like, "Oh wait, never mind."
Yeah, like I said, there are specific things that I enjoyed about season 2, but for the most part, I don't. When I see like clips of season 1, it makes me want to go watch it again.
Do you want to rewatch everything before the season 2 comes out? Yeah, you want to? We should start doing that.
Yeah, probably start doing it now.
I'm a little busy though because Suits season 8 just came out, so
I don't think I ever saw season 7.
You haven't seen The Exit? Brexit?
Brexit?
You haven't seen Brexit?
No.
It literally is kind of like Brexit because she had to go be a queen, princess.
Oh,
or whatever
right.
the fuck she is.
Okay, yeah. So
she
no, I
wasn't
didn't see that.
Dog! Catch up with Suits, dog. So good. I love that show. Love it. Yeah, they do a big reinvention for the new season. Because they had to write Meghan. They had to write
Duchess of Essex.
Yeah, they had to write Meghan Markle out of the show.
I guess that's important.
Dude, why aren't you allowed to be an actress if you're a duchess? What's with that?
I don't know.
That seems really antiquated to me.
They have a lot of antiquated ideas over there.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
You're taking a shot at Britain right now?
I'm taking a shot at some of the racist parts of Britain.
Wait, what do I not know? What are you talking about?
Oh, there's you didn't see all of the fallout that kind of happened with certain subsects.
Oh, were people going nuts that she was becoming royalty?
Yeah.
Oy.
Oh yeah.
Oy.
There's some really disgusting things.
If you speak ill of Meghan Markle, I will fight you.
It's just fucking stupid.
I am madly in love with Meghan Markle's character from Suits, Rachel. Just throwing it out there. Anyway. Trying to think if there was any other trailer. We didn't watch any other trailers, right? There are probably others that came out, but I forget about them, and I've been gone for too long.
Right.
Well, the Lion King thing came out of Donald Glover.
Oh,
Finally, some Donald Glover stuff.
Oh.
Him singing
Yeah.
with Beyonce.
Yeah.
You like it?
I did like it.
Look, it's
fun.
Yeah.
I'm with that, right? I'm with Aladdin and even a little bit with Men in Black. I don't know if you got this a little bit, but when the credits start rolling, right? And the movie is just starting up. I want to get to the theater almost not even knowing what I'm about to see, right? And then when I get to my seat and the credits start rolling, I'm like, oh, okay. I get to see this.
So wait,
now.
Would you like it if I started buying you movie tickets without telling you what movie we're seeing, and then just bringing you?
Yeah, as long as it's
I'm not gonna tell you what we're doing the next episode on. I'm just gonna bring you to the movie theater.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That would be wild.
I don't know how we're gonna.
I don't know how we would execute that.
Yeah.
I would need your fingerprint for your phone. and all your app and stuff like that. It would get a little weird, but
my iPhone doesn't have the.
Oh, you don't. Oh, I would need your face.
While I'm sleeping, just.
Would that work?
Or you just use my code.
That's true.
There's that.
But no, because then you need. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right. Don't you need a fingerprint to buy the thing on the app?
Huh?
When you get the ticket on the app,
you could just put in. You could just use the code for that as well. You can use the code or your face.
Wow, technology is amazing. Cool. Anyway, I'm so hyped for Lion King.
Yeah, I remember the straight up jubilant feelings that I was getting from Aladdin.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, every time I see a Lion King trailer, I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen when I'm sitting down and it's actually like a really well executed.
Because your expectations are going to be way higher. Because one, the cast. Two, Jon Favreau's already done it to a great effect.
Yeah.
Can you feel the love tonight? So I told you how, like, when I saw that, I saw a bunch of people. I saw the way I discovered that new trailer. It's not even a trailer. It's a spot. It's a commercial spot. It's 30 seconds long. Was because Donald Glover was trending on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, did he like? Is he doing a new movie or is a new album drop? Like, what's going on?
Is he building a city?
Is he?" As Men in Black said, I wouldn't be surprised about anything with him because like they made the joke that he's an alien. Him and Ariana Grande and JJ.
They do that joke every movie.
They do. It's a running joke. It's always like weird people. It's yeah. JJ Abrams was one of them. What was I saying? Oh, so I saw it and I was like, oh, cool. And all the tweets that when I clicked on the trending topic were like, Donald Glover better not ruin this movie. Oh man, I really hope that like Donald Glover can sing well. Oh man, how could Donald Glover let Beyonce out-sing him? Like what? What world are you living in where you expect Donald Glover, a person who was a rapper who basically like learned how to sing, is going to come up in here and out vocal gymnastics Beyonce? What? Why would you even want that to happen? Stay in your lane.
Who are you going to find that's going to like you can only kind of like get up to that level, right? Is there any surpassing Beyonce?
There's probably some people. Now, I might get murdered for saying that, but you know, it's not Donald Glover. That's not what he's here for.
I don't know enough about like,
Donald Glover's
about singing.
Donald Glover's not here to out-sing Beyonce. Donald Glover's here for the charm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I was like, oh man, what am I going to expect when I listen to this now? I listen to it. It sounds great. It sounds great. It's great accompaniment. They're singing a duet. She's just doing some runs. Mm-hmm. There's nothing crazy. People are just fucking weird.
Dog.
It's like the same people who went and saw Moana and were like, man, The Rock fucking sucks at singing. What are you talking about? It sounds fine. He's probably touched up. Right. I don't care.
Yeah. The Les Mis haters with Russell Crowe.
Bruh. The Les Mis haters with Russell Crowe. Just because he's got a weird vibrato? Anyone's going to sound shitty with Hugh Jackman right there.
I don't notice it, dog. I don't notice it.
Me neither.
It's not me.
I thought it sounded great.
It's not me.
All the above I thought sounded great. I think these people are just wilding out. Being weirdos. I still want to see a clip of him talking as Simba, though. They're going to do it. They're going to release that movie, and we're never going to see him talk as Simba until the movie. And I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to see it so bad, but I kind of like that they're holding it back. You know what I mean? We haven't heard the kid who sings on what song is that? From Childish Gambino's album. I'm going to look it up so I get the kid's
Terrified?
Is it Terrified? It might be Terrified. He sang at the Grammys with him, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let me find it so I get it right.
And I don't like. Are you kind of worried? Are you kind of worried about James Earl Jones? I mean, he doesn't. Has he ever done?
I don't know if he can. I don't know if he's got the gravitas, dude. I don't know if he's got the experience to play this character.
Like, yeah, he was great in Coming to America, but can he play a lion?
Can he play Mufasa? Can he be a king? Dude, I can't find this kid's name. J.D. McCrary. He was 9 when he recorded that song.
Right.
That's wild.
Does Mufasa ever sing? Am
No,
I tripping?
Mufasa never sings. Never. He says, "Remember who you are," and other really inspirational
Like
and cool
his
things.
talking is really just singing.
Basically,
Like that.
it's basically just bass singing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weem do up. Oh, weem do up. Oh, I want to hear him sing, do the bass line for "In the Jungle." Oh, weem do up. Oh, weem do up. Oh, weem do up. And then John Oliver can sing the upper part. In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
I feel like James Earl Jones, like if he sang, it would just be like it sound like Chocolate Rain. Did you ever hear that song?
Yeah.
Chocolate Rain.
Yeah.
Some
Maybe, I don't know.
Others feel the pain.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm super hyped for that movie. Comes out next month, I think. It's gonna be good. Spider-Man comes out next month. That comes out next month. Motherfucking, it's summer, dude. There's movies constantly. Spider-Man comes out in like 2 weeks. I think the premiere's happening next week. That's why Hollywood Boulevard's closing.
You kept bringing up a specific thing about this Spider-Man movie, and I'm like, it's weird how like I'm an idiot, obviously, but like I don't catch a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of times where I just watch things very passively and like just don't catch specific things.
Like trailers and stuff?
Bringing up specific trailers, movies, music, whatever. Like I can very much just experience something and completely zone out and like let really obvious pieces of information pass me by. But with the Spider-Man trailer, like you kept bringing up how like you find it very weird that Spider-Man is in the situation like where he's basically like taking Iron Man's place. And I was like, how much do they ever talk about?
They literally say it multiple times.
Yeah.
He jokes with the cop about it. Great joke,
like,
by the way.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be the new Iron Man or something? He's like, I don't know. I'm too busy doing your guys' job. Yeah. They say it a lot. It's like a theme of the movie. Yeah. It's an interesting theme though. I'm excited for it. I've seen good reviews so far. Things that popped up on and people being like, "Yo, this Spider-Man movie's good," and I'm like, for those listening, I'm making a weird face with a thumbs up right now.
Right.
Did you watch anything while I was gone?
No.
I watched a few things while I was gone.
What you watch?
I watched the new Adam Sandler Jennifer Aniston movie on Netflix with my family.
Is that the
murder mystery?
Murder mystery, yeah.
It was a movie. It was fine.
Okay.
There was actually like some really good ideas in it. You know?
Okay.
Like there was some stuff in it that was like this. There's a really good movie in here somewhere, but it's not this one. It's not this version of it. It was fine. So it was a nice movie to watch with the family. I watched Rocket Man, which I really enjoyed. Saw that with my parents. Really enjoyed it. Taron Egerton's really good in it. They do an interesting thing. Like Taron Egerton does all the singing, so it's not Elton John's recordings, but like he doesn't conform his takes on the songs to Elton John's versions. You know what I mean? They're very covery, where he's doing very different versions of them. Like when they do Benny and the Jets in this movie, it's at an emotional low point, and he's like angry, and he's performing Benny and the Jets. It's very interesting.
Huh.
It's very cool. And there's like some wild visual stuff they do.
Movie's rated R, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's a very graphic gay sex scene.
Dope.
It was.
That's all I want.
I think it was banned from Russia because of it, or at least that scene was banned.
Putin like, no way. Not gonna happen.
You can't have that here. Richard Madden, dude.
Is Putin just fucking Schmidt in our heads? You don't know what game it is. Tom, do something about this.
Stop it. Oh God.
It's freaking unbelievable.
Hockey. I watched one more thing, but it's gonna be my shout out, so I'm not gonna talk about it yet.
Rockman.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Bohemian Rhapsody?
I thought it was better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
But I think the music in Bohemian Rhapsody is maybe better because it's Freddie Mercury. You know what I mean? Taron Egerton is great. He's a really good singer. But it's fucking Freddie Mercury. I think that it's kind of different. Bohemian Rhapsody was very focused on the performances, the performance stuff, and how deep Rami Malek went in to capture the way that Freddie Mercury moved and performed. That's not really this. This is more based on like spectacle of weird stuff. Like there's a really cool scene where they like, it's kind of a montage, but they're doing a spin shot and they keep changing outfits. All these wild outfits that Elton John wore. They just do interesting visual stuff. Like it's in the trailer, was like floating on the piano. There's a lot of weird stuff like that. It's more focused on the surreal stuff than Bohemian Rhapsody was, but I think I liked this more than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
Because Bohemian Rhapsody was like, at the end of the day, it was like a really basic movie. You know what I mean? It didn't go far enough into this stuff, whereas this, I think, does.
That's what I really wanted.
Yeah. And I was all like, let's put Rocket Man on the poll. And you were like, nah.
So you saw another movie, but you want to save it for your
Not a movie, but it's my shout out.
Okay. We got to talk about something.
Sure.
And it's going to be really fucking tough.
Tough?
Do you know what I'm going to bring up? I'm not sure if you read all of it.
Oh, I read it.
You read all of it?
I sent it to you.
I knew that you said that like it was brutal and stuff. I'm not sure if you read all of it.
Oh, I read it.
So this Max Landis thing.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, we brought up Max Landis on this show before.
Bunch of times.
We both really look up to him.
We talked about it a little bit when we did the Green Valley episode. I prefaced it a little bit with how there were rumors of things.
Mm-hmm. And Green Valley was a comic that Max Landis wrote.
Yes.
For those that don't know, Max Landis is a screenwriter, comic book writer, the son of John Landis, who
director
was,
of Blues Brothers, the Michael Jackson Thriller video, American Werewolf in London,
right?
Bunch of stuff.
Yeah, very prominent director in
the 80s,
late 80s, like early 90s, right? Max Landis wrote Chronicle, for those that have
American Ultra, some other stuff.
A couple years ago, right, like around 2017 time frame, there were some reports that came out that he had there was like reports of abuse, right, of sexual assault and abuse.
Emotional abuse for sure. So it's always been like this vague thing.
Yeah.
There have been accusations, but without any proof or evidence. People just kind of it was like hearsay would be, I think, the legal term for it.
Right.
Of people basically being like, somebody told me that this happened to them at Max Landis' hands, and he has openly talked about his struggles of trying to overcome his own problems. And he's talked about how he's diagnosed with some sort of mental disorder. I forget what it's called, but he's talked about how in the past he's been very bad to people, but he's always talked about how he's trying to get better. That's talked about a lot in this article.
Yeah. I don't know where, like, what your situation was when you read it. I forced myself through this thing. It is a brutal article.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And it's the 8 different accounts of women that interacted with him, that dated him, and were psychologically, emotionally, sexually, physically abused by him.
Yeah. Not physical hitting, sexually abused. Yeah.
I mean, but
I guess in some cases, kind of, yeah.
Because
he never hit anyone, but he did other physical
choked, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's accounts of him choking other women.
Yeah.
I forced myself through this thing, cried through it.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
You feel betrayed, right?
I don't know how I feel. I'm more disappointed.
Obviously disappointed. Yeah. Obviously, that's a huge part of it.
Betrayed is a weird thing. I don't
you
know
don't,
if I could say betrayed, because we don't know him.
But you felt like you did, right? Mm-hmm. Felt like you did.
Yeah.
Especially if you followed him on social media, back when he tweeted a lot and stuff, and he was constantly just talking about movies he'd seen and tweeting out writing advice, and he had all his YouTube videos of writing advice, and just almost tweeting like he was just any other person. You know what I mean? No filter whatsoever.
Well, and just like, I think that this is, I don't know how you reacted to it, right? But like, I was just continually like forced while I was reading this article to like just constantly be evaluating like what evil is, right? And what like, and I don't want to like belittle the fucking just the awful and dangerous things that in situations that he put these girls through by making it a philosophical conversation. But it's hard not for me to preface it, like for me not to try and grasp it that way, because he's someone that we both looked up to, that we've seen him interact with people who he had no previous connection with, right? And the way that he would interact with them was always like very positive. You know, he was someone who, and this was talked about within the article about how
he can suck you in.
He's obviously incredibly fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Like you can't remove that away from him. Like he's an intriguing dude. I think that's why he's become so successful, and that's why he was pulled into these really dangerous relationships with these women, you know. But the one thing that they talk about in this article is how aware he is of his own faults. Yeah. Of his own tendencies to abuse.
Yeah, like one of the running themes is like how often he would, in the same conversation, keep calling girls he was dating fat, and then be like, "Oh, I know I do that all the time. I'm trying to get better at it.
Right.
But you shouldn't be eating like that. You shouldn't be eating that hamburger." Like weird shit like that. It's very strange.
Right. So he has a form of bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
That's like called. I
don't remember
that
name
already. But it's like a minor form of bipolar disorder, and that's another thing that's like, how much can you attribute to bipolar disorder, and how much can you like? How dangerous is it to say like, well, all of this is because of his bipolar disorder? How much is that a danger because it victimizes him in a way? And how much responsibility should you be attributing to Max, right? I think what the article is trying to get across, and I think is the most important thing, is that people are aware, and that creates the consequence of people staying away from him, so that he doesn't create any more fucked up relationships, and he doesn't abuse anyone anymore. What was your response of that article to humanity at large?
I didn't really think about it in that context. No, this was more personal for me because it was like a hammer dropping. It was like something that I'd been waiting on happening for like a year and a half. I had heard the rumors, and a couple people had put out like blog posts about rumors about it, and like somebody told me this kind of, and I was like, man, I hope none of this is true. And you know, I saw how he got off social media for a long time, and like all of these things, but then he got on Instagram, and he was like always putting things about him, like he was working out a lot, and he had a girlfriend, and like everything seemed like it was normal, and then he got off social media again, and then I saw like at one point one of these things happened, and a lot of the Critical Role cast were liking and retweeting things that were negative about him, and that was like a huge red flag to me, because they're like super dope, awesome human beings. And I was like, if they all feel this way about him, and I know that specifically Taliesin Jaffe is friends with a lot of the same friend group that Max has, I wouldn't be surprised if Taliesin has been to these color society party things they talk about in that article. I know they share a lot of the same female friends. I know Whitney Moore works with them a lot now, and she used to be friends with Max. Like there's a lot of crossover there. So when they all started reacting that way to the negative things about him, I was like, that's a really bad sign for me personally that a lot of this stuff might be real. And I was like, I just kept hoping it wasn't. And then when this article came out, I was like, it just was like the hammer dropping, and kind of like a last straw kind of deal. I was like, yeah, it's you can't really deny it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's just like the way that my emotions work, but like for me, I was like, fucking, like, how much you really know anyone?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think especially like celebrities.
I mean,
Like people can present.
Like as dark as this is, like how much you really know me.
I mean, sure. I think I know you pretty well, but I don't obviously know everything about you.
I don't know. That was probably the most disappointing thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like to believe in the best in people and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, it sucks when
yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough. Do you want to
Let's go to shout
do some shout outs and
shout-outs.
close this up?
Yep.
I'll go first. My shout out is for a TV show that I watched while I was gone. 6 episodes on Netflix. It's called Bodyguard, starring Richard Madden of Game of Thrones fame. Played Robb Stark on Game of Thrones. This show, I don't think a show has ever like grabbed me as hard and quickly as this show did. The first 30 minutes of this show, I like couldn't breathe through them. It was insane how like high stakes everything felt and how ramped up everything was in the opening scene of it's literally like a 30-minute scene. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And they do this amazing job of actually then mirroring it in the final episode. It's very cool the way they do it. Richard Madden is amazing throughout the show. It's just super gripping. It's like a thriller. He plays a British police officer who gets assigned to protect a parliament member, female parliament member who has very outspoken views on the war in Iraq, and it has very personal ties to his beliefs because he was in the military, and there are multiple like attacks on her throughout the show, and just like the way I don't want to like give too much away because it's like not knowing anything about it going in was insanely pleasurable experience. Like it was just so fun to watch. Me and my dad watched him 2 nights while I was home. So yeah, Bodyguard on Netflix is my shout out.
Starring Richard Madden. All right, so
potential future James Bond.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my shout out is somebody that we actually went to high school with.
Oh yeah.
My buddy Darren Rigo. He is a Twitch streamer. Goes by Bare Feats Gaming, and that's Feats Feats.
Not
Bare
your feet, but
yeah.
the things that you accomplish.
But yeah, he streams League of Legends.
And then is that Bear BARE
no,
or BEAR?
It's BARE Gaming. Bare Feats Gaming. On Twitch.
Streams LOL?
Huh?
Streams LOL? League of Legends?
Yeah.
People love that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how that game works.
Neither do I.
My brother plays it.
No idea. But he's a fan of the show, and he reached out. He reached out to me. Gave us a shout out on his stream.
Oh hell
so
yeah! Thanks, Darren.
Gotta give him a shout out as well. Bare Feats Gaming.
Bare Feats. Bare as in naked, feats as in the things you accomplish. Bare Feats.
Gaming.
As in playing games. All right, Bare Feats Gaming, Darren, and Bodyguard starring Richard Madden on Netflix. Those are our shout outs. I don't know why I said that like that. That was weird.
Is that Richard Madden doing a Sean Connery accent?
Dude, Richard Madden has an accent. Got a thick ass accent. All right, so Thursday, poll winner drops. We'll talk about Men in Black International. Next week, Toy Story 4. Spoilers. That'll be fun. We're going to have a lot of good ones next month. A lot of good ones. I'm excited. We'll be back with a regular episode next Monday. Find Chris, chrismichaelstott.com. Check out his scripts, Chris Michaelstott on Instagram. Find me, DavinWell25 on Twitter and Instagram. Find the show, The Chris and Kyle Show, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all podcasting platforms. Like, share, rate, review, all that stuff. There'll be a new poll up next week. Don't know what's going to be on it yet because the other Dave Bautista movie doesn't come out until August, and we can't do the Dave Bautista showdown, which is kind of a bummer. That would have been fun. Yeah. Good to be back. We out.
We out. Stay weird.